When comparing the different technologies used for our music video, then being sectioned into the internet, equipment and software, I was the most challenged by equipment. Similarly to software, the more I worked with the equipment, the more familiar and confident I became. It was a vital technology in creating a successful music video. It could be argued that the most important equipment we used were the cameras, allowing us to produce high quality footage and capture imagery for the ancillary tasks. We used three main cameras for shooting our music video, the first being Nikon D3100, in which we were lucky enough to use from school. It worked at a minimum of 1080p at 30 frames per second. The second camera was my camera, which I have here. This is a Lumix Panasonic DMC G3, and it's meant to be a photography camera and also a reversible filming camera. The third main camera was band member George's, which was a Canon 60D and a 50mm prime lens with a 1.8 aperture. Due to having a range of different cameras with different properties, this allowed us to pick and choose. As I had only previously handled the cameras for amateur photographic purposes, there were many functions and properties I had to learn when filming. These were the ISO, the aperture, and shutter. I was then able to adjust these for sharp and crisp filming in different lighting situations. There were two ways in which we used the camera, the first being on a tripod and the second being handheld. If needed, we could have also used a Steadicam. Memory cards were important for storing data, and when filming we would mainly use a 64GB SanDisk and sometimes a 32GB SanDisk, leaving plenty of room on the cameras for large amounts of footage. GoPro. Although tiny, the GoPro was an expensive piece of equipment. When borrowed from school, it had a range of cases for different uses, cleaning equipment, multiple memory cards and a card reader. Before using the GoPro for the shoot of our music video, we felt it was essential to test it. Jake carried out a series of tests with the GoPro before our shoot, allowing us to be confident when using it. We used the GoPro to show point of view shots, but most of all high angle shots, looking directly at the drummer. This was really effective as the GoPro was in line with the drum kit and created some interesting yet creative footage for our music video. Projector. The projector was a Canon LV 72928, in which was borrowed and used to play the footage of memories in our music video. It was very vibrant, so we had to be careful with making eye contact. Its properties consist of native wgsb resolution, Canon 1.2x wide zoom lens, automatic setup, HDMI input, and a long lamp life, which all helped in making it easy for me and Jake to use. Tripod. The tripod is a basic yet essential piece of equipment allowing stability for the camera. Throughout filming, I use the tripod on most occasions. As we did not film on uneven ground, a Steadicam was not needed. We simply used tripod wheels to create a similar effect towards the end of our video. Strobe lighting. From the beginning of the project, I tested and experimented with lighting, as I knew very little about it. My experiments evolved around flashing lights and then led us to use a strobe light on the day of the shoot. We hired a Q strobe, a small 45-watt strobe with adjustable speed control, if used alone, produced the effect of slow motion. We then had to alter the camera settings to suit the lighting, but after finishing filming, we felt there was no place for the footage in our video. Other lighting. Jake and I also hired 3 floodlights and a smoke machine. The floodlights were halogen flood IP44 blue aluminium die cast 150 watt, ideal for floodlighting small areas or small lighting buildings and features. With a higher fee of £3 a week, they also heated very quickly, so had to be moved often. It came fitted with a 16 amp waterproof plug and was supplied with a floor stand or hook clamp and safety chain. The power of the floodlights created an effective spotlight and also encouraged shadows which work well in our video. Not only did they light up the surrounding environment, the band members were portrayed in a much more professional way with the controlled lighting surrounding them. In order to understand how floodlights and spotlights worked, I resorted to primary source of a book to read up on the properties before shooting our video. The fog machine. The ADJ mini fog machine was an amazingly powerful little machine capable of producing 1,500 cubic feet of smoke per minute. A very compact machine ideal for building in stage sets or small areas, and supplied with a standard 3M handheld remote, as well as a tank of smoke fluid. Laptops. Although we had access to Macs in our media classroom, Jake and I both felt more comfortable using our Windows-run laptops. Jake used a Meteor laptop and I used a HP Envy laptop. We were able to still use the software available on Macs. We were reliant on our laptops for editing and also evaluating our work. Television. Throughout the project, I briefly used the Samsung Smart Television. This was to view videos and gain an insight to how our music video would look on the big screen. I also used this during the research stages of the project and would connect it via the HDMI cable